Shortly before we came on air, I spoke to the Russian ambassador Yuriy Filatov. I first asked him when his country would stop its aggression against Ukraine.
Well, I understand that is an emotional question, and it's a highly emotional issue for many people here in Ireland. For us, it is emotional as well. What we are talking here is really a humanitarian tragedy in Donbass.
It is a humanitarian tragedy in Ukraine, Ambassador. Amnesty International has documented indiscriminate attacks on civilian areas and strikes on protected objects such as hospitals by your country's army.
Well, if you want to make a statement, you are free to do that. But if you...
I'm quoting Amnesty International, sir.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, will you let me explain some basic facts?
Please, try your best.
Okay. So what we are talking about is the sad truth that the war has been going on in Donbass for almost 8 years, waged by the Kiev regime against the people of Donbass and Lugansk, Donetsk and Lugansk republics.
I'm sorry, Ambassador, but that war was started by Russia. It was fomented by Russia. It was continued by Russia. Russia has been arming the separatists in those areas you mentioned.
We did not. That has been started by the government which came to power in 2014 in February. The only reason was that the people in the republics in the region at that time, they simply rejected that. They have not accepted the new regime, which was all about Ukrainization. They wanted to keep their language, which is Russian, to speak it, to live their own way of life. And just for that reason, they were victims of the armed operation aimed to suppress them.
Ambassador, you are giving us the Russian version of events. Why should our viewers believe the Russian version of events when Russia has been misleading us in recent weeks?
I don't think we have been misleading anyone.
Well, 10 days ago, sir, 10 days ago, you told Sarah McInerney on Primetime that claims of an imminent Russian invasion of Ukraine were ludicrous, that they were an attempt by America to inflate tension. Now, either you did not know what was going on or you were lying, sir. Which was it?
No, I did not.
You did so say that, sir.
I talked about some things as well. It's not our choice. The war, or I mean, the military option is not our choice, and we did not.
But sir, your forces have invaded a sovereign nation. It absolutely was your choice.
Well, it was not our preferable choice. If you are a little bit patient, you would listen through what I have to say. We tried all efforts to settle things politically through the Minsk process. They have failed. It all became clear that Kiev just did not want to settle that in the format of the Minsk agreements, let alone talk directly to the republics. They simply used this diplomacy as a cover to prepare an offensive on the Donbass.
There is no proof of that, sir. There is no proof whatsoever. Are you expecting the world to believe that Kiev waited until you had nearly 200,000 troops massed on its borders to launch an offensive? It is ludicrous, to use your own word.
Well, you may say so, but it's a fact. You may ask the French and German diplomats which have been involved in the process in the Normandy format, and please ask them, have there been any instance when the Kiev delegation there agreed to something? Not a iota, nothing through the 7 years. So, I mean, there was no other choice to end the suffering of Donbass through real humanitarian intervention. That's what the special operation is exactly about. The only
By special operation, sir, you mean the invasion of a sovereign nation?
The only aim of the operation is to neutralize the ability of Ukrainian military to inflict any more suffering on Donbass. Ukrainians should not be afraid of that.
Mr.
Civilian
Ambassador, Ukrainians are being killed by your forces. How can they not be afraid?
Well, simply because they are not the target of this operation. Nobody will.
There are documented cases, sir, of civilian targets being hit by Russian munitions.
I have no such proof, and we are not aimed at that.
The government here has been urged to expel you by Sinn Féin, by Labour, by Fianna Fáil MEP Billy Kelleher. Why should our government entertain your presence here when you are acting as an apologist for slaughter? Well, it's a good question. You might ask that your government. It's up to them. I can leave any time. Ambassador Yuriy Filatov, Ambassador of Russia to Ireland for the moment at least. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.